April 9th City of Aztec Commission meeting is officially called to order. Judge Gray was gracious enough to agree to do the invocation, so Judge, please.
Father, we thank you for this opportunity to meet and do the business for the City of Aztec. Please place your hand on the hearts and the minds of everyone in this room so that we may go about doing that business. We do this in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Ms. Sabrina.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Salute the flag of the state of New Mexico and the symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures. Okay. All right, good evening, everybody. Thanks for being here. Carla, would you please call the roll? Here.
Here.
Commissioner Sykes?
Here.
Commissioner Lewis?
Here.
Commissioner Randall?
Here.
All present?
Okay. Next is our agenda approval. If there are any items that do not the approval for being heard on this evening's agenda, now is the time to remove those items. Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve this evening's agenda as given.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Our next item is a presentation from Ms. Sandra Harbour for the Aztec Chamber of Commerce. Good evening, Ms. Harbour.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I'm Sandy Harbour. I'm the owner of Urban Rebel Designs, but tonight I'm here on behalf of the Aztec Chamber of Commerce. We wanted to take this opportunity to share with you our current position and direction. At this time, we have a full working board with 5 members. We currently hold a seat on the City of Aztec's Economic Development Advisory Board as required to be a LEADA community, and we are currently sending renewal notices and having a membership drive. We'll also be holding new board elections in the near future. The board consists of 5 to 7 volunteer board members who are also business owners and managers that willingly give of their free time to help maintain and grow the Chamber of Commerce. Our monthly board meetings are open to the public and held the 3rd Wednesday of each month at noon at Citizens Bank. We would welcome your attendance at any time. We recently went through a reevaluation of our bylaws and our mission. We are focusing our efforts toward supporting businesses to the best of our abilities. We're getting away from large event planning and returning to our mission of providing support, networking, and training opportunities to our members and the business community as a whole. And to that end, we are taking our position of advocating on behalf of our members and the business community earnestly. We would like to thank each of you for your service to our community and also ask, in light of certain hot-button issues recently, that when making decisions that could have a possible detrimental effect on local businesses, that members of the business community be sought out for their input, or at the very least, the consequences to businesses be kept top of mind. For without local businesses, there is no need for city government. We would also like for you to keep in mind that the gross receipt taxes and related revenue we as business owners generate, collect, and pay provides 50% of the general fund of the city's budget. We as the Aztec Chamber of Commerce take our mission as being the business for businesses very seriously. We are always happy to assist the community in any way we can, including advocating on the business community's behalf at both the local and state levels. And thank you for this opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Ms. Harbour. Okay. Moving on to item 8, we are at citizen recognition. I don't think we have anything this evening.
No.
Okay. Anybody? Good. Okay. After that is employee recognition.
I do have one, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to
recognize Miss Angela Watkins, our librarian, who has been really working hard to...
You can't hide. We see you, Angela.
Yeah, I'll see you, Angela. She's been really working hard getting grants for the library. Walmart is one of the most recent grant awards that she got, and that was for about $1,000, I believe. Waste Management, our new solid waste provider, has been active in getting Angela materials for various programs, and she's just been working the community as a whole, and it's great to see everybody pitching in to help the library out. Citizens Bank, Safeway, Waste Management, Finish Line Graphics, the Vanilla Moose, A&W, Aztec Restaurant, McDonald's, Aztec Family Dental Care, Bloomfield Aquatic Center, and I know I'm missing some, but those are the primary ones that are in Aztec, so just a shout out to them as well. And Angela, appreciate your efforts down there at the library and making it happen.
Thank you.
That's all.
And very well done. And I just want to, tomorrow is the recycling day or presentation at Mosaic. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you happen to, if you have children going there, or you're an educator, or and otherwise, I don't know how they're going to work that out, but I think it'd be kind of cool if you're able to go or learn more about it. And I know they're having. Are they doing anything with the Boys and Girls Club this weekend?
Not this weekend.
It's next weekend. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have one, an employee recognition.
Yeah, of
too.
course.
For the Parks Department, Jeff, just give a shout out to all your people. I haven't gone to all the parks yet and all the ball fields, but I've been around quite a few of them, and everything is looking very nice and green, and it's good to see them out cleaning the planters, and everybody just getting spring fever. So they're looking really good, so keep it up. Thank you.
Good. Okay. All right. Next is citizens input. And I'll go ahead. Okay. So so we have a few folks up here. I will call you off one at a time if that's okay, and we'll come up. We have 3 minutes to speak. And Carla, would you be okay with keeping the time? I can, I guess, if you don't, if you're not okay. All right. So our first one up tonight is Mr. Joe Hubbard. Good evening, Mr. Hubbard.
Thank you, and good evening. I'd like to bring to all of your attention that there will be free asset management training, and this seems so opportune after the workshop. Asset management is a proven, successful strategy towards funding infrastructure. And sadly, with my experience, we need help from City Hall. Right now, another municipality is struggling to keep their water tanks, and they cost about $1 million each to replace. Anyways, the free training will take place Saturday, April 20th at the Bloomfield Library Complex. It'll last until 4 in the afternoon, starting at 9. It's free, and I encourage all of you to attend. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Next up is Sabrina Riles. Evening, Mrs. Riles.
Good evening, Mr. Snover. Okay, last night on the news I saw that there was plans to redo the river down here in the park and everything. The last time this happened, a lot of the trees died off and they have not been replaced. I want to know what environmental studies have been done to ensure this would not happen again. It would go through and end up disturbing the riverbed and fish. That was one thing they did bring up. I also want to know, are we going to be replacing the trees that we will lose? You have got trees down there that are well over 100 years old, and their roots cannot take the water loss. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Mueller, I see you taking some notes there.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And next up is Mr. Bill Dees. Good evening, Mr. Dees.
I assume this one's working.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I'm here to keep pressure on you, Mr. Snover. So, my name is Bill Dees. I live over on the South Rio Grande. And I just come across this, of course, in regards to your our last meeting, in that you said that it was financial aspects that you was voting down the Second Amendment sanctuary. Well, I have this thing from Sheriff Mark Cage, Eddy County, New Mexico. And this in regards to Attorney General Balderas' letter that he sent out. It says, after reading and rereading the letter sent by Attorney General Balderas, I felt compelled to do some research to either prove or disprove his assertion that we sheriffs would put our counties into financial jeopardy if anti-gun laws were not enforced on our jurisdictions. It just so happens that the U.S. Supreme Court has made 2 rulings pertaining to this issue. The first is Warren versus D.C., which concluded that the duty to provide public service is owed to the public at large and absent a special relationship between the police and an individual. No specific legal duties exist. A special relationship would be where someone was in law enforcement custody or control. An example would be a deputy stops someone driving their vehicle, tows the vehicle, and leaves the person on the side of the road to fend for themselves, and that person is run over and killed. That amounts to a special relationship because of custody and control. The second is Castle Rock versus Gonzales, where the court ruled that law enforcement generally has no constitutional duty to protect citizens from third-party harm. A duty may be found when law enforcement officers have in some way created or enhanced the danger to an individual. A duty will be found in cases where the person to be protected is in the custody of government against his will and are powerless to protect themselves. Basically, just because there is a law doesn't mean you are entitled to protect, nor is law enforcement liable just because they don't enforce it. We sheriffs have been accused of fear-mongering about guns being taken away and rights being violated. I submit to you that threatening legal action when there are Supreme Court rulings to the contrary is true fear-mongering, especially when the law is essentially unenforceable to begin with. Just saying. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And last on our list for this evening is Monty Shalley. I'm sorry, I keep asking if I pronounce that right. Did I do that right?
Thank you, councils. A couple months ago, I made a presentation about McWilliams Road, and I was just following up on that to see if we'd found out anything about it or if anything could be done or whatever. That was all. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, folks. That is the end of our citizens' input. Next up is consent agenda. Items placed on the consent agenda will be voted upon with one motion. If any item proposed does not meet the approval of all commissioners, a commissioner may request that the item be heard under items from consent agenda. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
Mayor, I move to approve this evening's consent agenda as given.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. On to business items. Item A, intent to adopt ordinance 2019-490, amending Chapter 2, Administration, Division 6, Municipal Judge.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mueller.
That goes back to our last workshop.
Right.
This is the intent to adopt the ordinance of what we discussed last workshop, and I'll stand for any questions if there are any. And the judge is here as well if we need any more information from him.
Okay. We'll go ahead and open it up for discussion and questions. I don't have any personally.
I don't have anything.
Commissioner Sype?
Nope.
Mayor Pro Tem?
I think the workshop pretty much
Yeah, I think
revealed
we-
the importance of it.
Pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Nothing
No.
Nothing exciting? Okay. Hearing nothing or any questions or discussion, I'll close discussion and entertain a motion for business item A.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to move to approve intent to adopt ordinance 2019-490, amending Chapter 2, Administration, Division 6, Municipal Judge.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Carla, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Snyder,
Aye?
Mayor Pro Tem Sight,
Aye.
Commissioner Fry.
Aye.
Commissioner Sight,
Aye.
Commissioner Randall,
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. Item 14, City Manager, Commissioners, and Attorney Reports. Mr. Mueller.
I attended the New Mexico Municipal League District 1 meeting today for the first time, very informative. They're talking about all the bills that came out of the last legislative session, and they'll have a final workup on all the stuff come May. Attended with Commissioner Fry, or Mayor Pro Tem Fry, Commissioner Sight, and our city clerk. And once again, just a very informative session.
Okay, thank you.
And that's all I've got.
Commissioner Sype?
A couple of meetings. I did attend that today, and just a, I guess, a attaboy for us. The Self-Insurers Fund, in their report, Ed Zindell said that this year the Self-Insurer Board approved a $3 million dividend credit for municipalities within the state of New Mexico, which is really good. That's based on claims and what's
Safety.
the safety and training and all that stuff. And the city of Aztec is going to receive a $77,112 credit. So that's good news for us. So good job, everybody, for being safe and keeping trained and all that stuff. That always helps. So I did have a MPO special meeting that we had where we, to approve the extending of the arterial money on the federal level with the STIP, and I'm happy to report that that was approved and is moving forward to extend that funding. Tomorrow I have Northwest Mexico Seniors here in Aztec. Cindy will be hosting us. And I just wanted to say, tell the mayor, Stephen Saavedra, Kathy, and Steve, Mr. Saavedra and the mayor went down to Santa Fe when the snowstorm hit, and the rest of us weren't able to make it. And they visited with our legislators, and they did. They took down a legislative request, mostly for the arterial, but they were able to talk about the North Main project and ended up getting us some funding for that. So it was a team effort for all those, and so I think that's a good thing for Aztec. We're excited. Good job.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Commissioner Lewis.
Oh, actually I do. I attended the San Juan Water Commission meeting a week ago today. It was very informative. And I also have good news. We approved the budget for the Water Commission, and it was 22% less than last year. And one of the reasons it's 22% less than last year is we are approaching the final payment for construction, for our portion of the construction cost of the Animas project. We're expecting that bill to show up, the Water Commission, not us, but it is going to be expecting that bill to show up in the summer or early fall. And at that point, we will have completely paid our obligation on the Animas project. And so we have, and the budgeted amount for this was $750,000. And that is about half of what the anticipated final cost was going to be. So they've done some really good work at negotiating, and they've done a really good job, and I think they should be commended. And so next year we'll look at another reduction, probably because we won't have to budget for the costs to complete the project because they've been paid. So that was a very big plus. Now, the second part of that was the other shoe that fell, was brought up by the San Juan County representative. What do we do now? Well, the next project we're going to be looking at would be how do we make sure we maintain a good and safe water source for everybody in the area. We know we have water in Ridges Basin. We only have 3,000 acre feet in Ridges Basin, which is not enough to sustain us for too long. However, they are now talking about, and the subject has been broached, creating local storage facilities. Not necessarily great big storage facilities, but smaller scale storage. And none of this has been decided. Nobody's brought up any specifics yet, but that's what they're now looking at to make sure that water that is already just flowing by us, we can be capturing and saving for a rainy day, or like last year, we had a very dry year. And by the way, last year is now officially the drought of record. It is worse than any drought yet seen in this area. And so all others will be measured by 2018 until something worse comes along, and I hope that doesn't happen. One other quick report we had was, I think most everyone here has seen the report on the Gold King mine spillage we've had recently because of the snow. That's been cleared up. That's back in operation. No more spillage at the moment. And according to the reports we've seen, the risk to contamination was minimal, but the city of Aztec, the city of Farmington responded appropriately, immediately, and protected all of our water sources. So the city did a really great job on that. So we should commend those. I should have said that during the employee recognition. I apologize, but they did a great job doing that for us and protecting our water sources. So that's marvelous for them. I also heard from Mr. Michael Mestes, who is the San Juan County Emergency Management Manager, and he talked about one of the things he talked about was some of the sampling they're going to be doing and continuing to do of the river, because what they're worried about now is, because high flow, lots of water, turbulence, digging up a lot of the sediment that had settled in and perhaps raising some of the heavy metals that had been released, specifically cadmium and iron. So they're looking at, they will be monitoring those in 3 different locations to make sure that all the water we're getting is safe. We're not going to have any problems. If there were something to arise, they would notify us right away, and we could do as we did before and cut off pumping until we can be sure it's safe. So anyway, that's in a nutshell what it was. But I think it's great to know that we're finally free of construction costs on Animas supplies. So that's a great, great thing.
How many years has that been?
30 years. And
30
yeah,
years. Yeah.
it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right.
Isn't that enough?
Thank you. Commissioner Randall.
Just a couple things. I was able to attend my first library board meeting. It was great because there was snacks and drinks. And yeah, kind of made my evening, so I was happy. Thank you, Angela. She's just working on some policy changes. I think since then they've actually already been put in place. So that was what came from the library board meeting. Also was not able to attend the LTAB lodgers tax meeting, but I'm told that they approved funding for the Steamers and Dreamers, the Alien Run, and the Aztec Motocross, a few events. So that's good. And that is all.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
I too attended the Municipal League meeting today, and they mostly stole my thunder. So,
Sorry.
but I was very encouraged by much of the legislation that passed is going to be beneficial to the city in additional funding on taxes that have been revised and changed to our favor. So I think we'll be looking forward to those changes. Also very excited about the funding that we're going to receive for North Main and the Arterial, and be able to get that started. And I just wanted to let, sometimes in the consent agenda, there's things in there that we just pass over, and unless you go back and actually read them, you won't know about them. But the Animas River Habitat Enhancement and Bank Stabilization Grant that's being applied for is going to clean out area of the river that's in the city limits and between the park areas, and to stabilize those banks and to improve chances for recreation. Water recreation. I just find that really exciting and a very good thing to happen for us here when we keep looking for things to expand tourism and draw people to Aztec. So go back and read item L
and you'll find out what can be happening, and we're hopeful that we'll get that grant. Tomorrow I'll attend, or Thursday I'll attend the San Juan Safe Communities Initiative meeting and report that next time.
Ms. Hunsaker?
No report.
Okay. I just have a couple of quick things. I've been jotting a few notes down here. I attended the ECHO board meeting. Nothing really exciting to report. There's workplace standards, exciting administrative things that they're kind of wading through, community service block grants. Half the time I'm a little confused about it. I have to ask a lot of questions, but I know our ECHO folks are doing great work in the community and always striving to improve and make the most use of the resources that they do get from the community and from the government. So I feel like we're in very good hands with Ms. Borrego Pierce, who's the CEO there. I was fortunate enough and able to give out the city's the certificates of appreciation that the city did for the folks from the Talon, Ms. Frizzell, Ms. Israel, and then of course the one that I know the most is J.R. Sykes. So they had a thing at the Lost Parrot, a little kind of a farewell sort of party, cake, that kind of thing. I see a couple folks that were out there as well, and it was nice just to, it's sad, but it was nice to be able to to do that for them and to recognize their service over the past, I believe, 25 years or so to the community. And I also saw something today that I think they're breathing a little more life into the Facebook page. So I think they're gonna maybe do some of the online social media kind of stuff, which it's not the same as opening, the tactile, grabbing the paper from the Safeway every week. But I think it's good to still have some kind of local media here in Aztec. I know I've missed them. It's one of those things where you don't really realize what you got until it's gone, right? And I've noticed it for sure. But I think that's good news, and maybe that'll kind of bridge the gap to somebody coming in and breathing new life into it and printing it again. We'll see. Hopefully, keep our fingers crossed. I believe there's an airport advisory board on Monday, the 15th, and I also attended the San Juan Citizens Alliance new office in Farmington last week. Was it last week? Yeah, sorry, MP was there. And that's always exciting. I've been a member of San Juan Citizens Alliance for the last few years since I moved into town, and to see them making another run here and open an office in San Juan County is a positive, I think, for all of us. So I enjoyed doing that, and I was going to hold off on the funding stuff until Mr. Saavedra was here. Unfortunately, his mother is not feeling too hot, so he's spending a little time with her. So kind of keep him in your thoughts. Send good energy towards him and his mom. And but yeah, I wanted to kind of give him a public kind of spotlight or pat on the back for all of the work he did. And I know there was a lot of hands in that project, so I don't want to slight anybody or diminish anybody's contribution over the years in that project. But I can honestly say that Mr. Saavedra is seems like every time I would turn around, he would have North Main coming out of his mouth in some form or another. So, and we went down, like Commissioner Sipe had said, during that snowstorm that wasn't as bad as it seemed. Yeah, he did the bulk of the presentation. I shook the hands and, did the, whatever you call it, the gripping and grinning kind of stuff. But he did the real work of talking about, the aspects of the project that made it more attractive to our legislators and our governor's office. So, great news. We got the funding. You never know until you ask. So, if you see Mr. Saavedra, you come in here to complain about your sidewalk or something, before you do that, just say good job, and we appreciate what you're doing. And again, I probably should have done that for employee recognition, but when hopefully he'll be back next meeting and we can maybe do it a little more properly for him.
Do it again.
Yeah, we'll do it again. We'll talk about that money until it's spent. But thank you, and that's all I have for now. I appreciate it. And next up is, did I miss? I got everybody, right? Mm-hmm. Department reports. Seeing nobody racing for the microphone, I'm going to officially adjourn the meeting at 6:30 p.m. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.